This is actually one of our favorite meals. It's fairly quick. I don't make my own pizza dough because it's, it's all about the toppings, not the dough anyways. So I make my own sauce, use a small can of tomato sauce, thyme, oregano, sweet basil leaves, and I like cumin in it. I'm kind of weird that way. So first,
And just look at the.
we both really like this. It's kind of a variation of the pizza that my parents used to make when I was a kid. Originally, I didn't like pizza because my dad convinced me that I wouldn't like it, so I didn't want to eat it. And then once when we were traveling across Canada, actually in Long Beach, I think it was, there was no restaurants to eat at that would prepare burgers and stuff like that I liked, so we had to eat pizza. And I've been hooked with pizza ever since. I've eaten many different kinds of pizza, but this is, in a way, back to my childhood. So I just empty the tomato sauce into a bowl. I don't like the store-bought sauce because they add sugar to the sauce, and I don't think you need any extra sugar in here. This is just a straight can of tomato sauce, so the ingredients are tomato paste, water, salt, onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder, and some spice. And then I don't measure anything, not for something I've made so many times. I just throw stuff in until it looks like it's as much as I want. So there's the thyme. I put a little more oregano than thyme. Thyme has more of a flavor, I find, than the oregano. I'm just going to put what's left of my basil leaves. And some cumin.
Actually, do a close up for the thing here to show the camera here what the close up on the thing you're using.
Oh, cumin.
Just slow down. There we go. Great.
Oregano, thyme,
Slow
and
down. Slow down.
I emptied the jar of basil leaves. They're probably a little old, but they'll taste fine in here. So when I'm mixing it up, I'm looking for that it's going to be thoroughly mixed, and actually the herbs will absorb a lot of the sauce. So I like my sauce very much flavorful because I don't put, there is salt in here in the sauce in the can, but I don't add any salt of my own. But there's no sugar, and that's what actually a lot of people like. When they're preparing food, prepared food tends to have lots of salt, sugar, and garlic, because those are the things that give flavor to things. So, next I need my crust. Now, we get these at Costco. They're artisan flatbed crusts. As I said, to us, it's all about the toppings. It's not about the crust itself. I have made crusts, including from scratch. I'm just not sure it's worth the work because it's all about the crust, or the toppings. There's two sides. One's more pale than the other. The other side is clearly from the baking process more. So I put the pale side down because it's going to get the extra heat, where the toppings are going to protect the top side a little. And same thing, put the pale side down. And I'm actually making all 6 of them. So I got to share out the sauce between them. Now, when we did them we made pizza last night, I thought they were very big. Looks like we ate the big ones last night, the crust. So I can actually get 2 on here reasonably well. Now, spread the sauce out, and it's important to get the sauce out to the edges. You can see that the crust has got little holes in it, and yes, some of the sauce will go through, but not very much because there's lots of herbs in there to prevent it from being too thin. So I make sure I put the sauce out as close as I can to the edge of it, because I don't really want to eat just bread. I want pizza. It's about 2 tablespoons on each. Works out, and it works out that there's about 6 on from that can once I put all the spices in. And as I spread them out on the other, I will salvage some of the sauce and put it on the last one. Unless I totally run out, which I don't think I will, because I think I have lots of sauce. So I'm just spreading it out to the edges because I want all that flavor. And as you can see, I've actually got quite a bit of sauce on that one, so I'll save some of that for the other one. Maybe my spoons were a little generous today. And I want a nice coating of sauce. A lot of places, when they're making the pizza, they just slice it. And I'm not really fond of sliced onion because I don't think it's the right way to do it. My parents always finely chopped it, and I think it gives more of a flavor of the onion through the whole pizza. So that's what I always do. A lot of my cooking is based on my parents. Either my mom or my dad, both who are very good cooks. I adapt theirs to be more my own, but basically I start with theirs. And so I'm going to chop the onion pretty fine. I should have used the other side of the board so it would be cleaner. I can't look up now.
Please don't look up.
And then I find if you just roll it, you can keep cutting it fairly small and get them more or less the same size. And now it's starting crying because that's what I do when I chop onion. That's good enough. Oops. Roll the onion. Just sprinkle it. The idea is to spread it out as much as you can so that each bite will get a small piece of onion, but there'll be an onion in almost every bite. That's my aim. That is what I'm aiming for. After the onions, the next thing I put on is my pepperoni. I haven't found a decent pepperoni since I left Nova Scotia. Apparently, Chris Brothers and Brothers pepperoni is not even made anymore the way it originally was. They made their own pepperoni and they smoked it, and it was really good. A lot of the pepperoni that's available in the store, if you put it on your pizza, it's got a lot of fat in it, and it'll come out and make your pizza greasy. And I don't really like that. This stuff here, I find, although it's sliced thicker than I like it to be, it doesn't feel greasy when you actually pick it up with your hands. So this is what we've been having for a while, and we found we actually like it pretty much. And when I'm putting it on, I like to have basically the pepperoni pretty well cover it. I don't want to bite into a bite without pepperoni. As kids, we used to call this wall to wall. We used to talk about when we wanted our pepperoni all touching. So I put the pepperoni on fairly thick, and it takes a few packages to do this, but it is really, it's one of my favorite flavorful pepperonis. I'll put some onion over there. I already had some red pepper slice started in the fridge, so I'm just going to use that. And red pepper, the peppers need to be sliced pretty thin. Otherwise, they can add too much moisture to your pizza. As you can see, we like toppings, and we like a lot of toppings. So we have to do moisture and grease management. The grease management from the pepperoni, and the moisture management from red peppers. I'm going to put mushrooms on, and those also add moisture to it. When the mushroom cooks, it'll add some moisture to it. And again, I'm looking to try and get basically every bite have the flavor of the toppings. And I'm just thinking about how I make my pizza. And some cuisines want you to have discrete tastes of every bite. Japanese is kind of more like that, Asian cooking. Whereas if you take an Indian cooking, well, each bite might have a little bit of different flavor. The flavors tend to be really mixed together, like, as you know, you can think of curries and stuff like that. Slice the mushrooms pretty thin. It's winter, so I don't have much choice for my mushrooms. I'd never in the summer would I put up with a mushroom. The base of the stem tells you how long it's been since it was cut. And even the brown mushrooms will, if they have been cut a while ago, the cut stem will be white. This one's still fairly white. I did a lot of picking through to get the mushrooms, but I didn't really like any of them. So the base is the part that actually touches the dirt in it when they're sliced off, depending on how careful the people cutting them are when they cut them off from the root. Anyways, so I tend to throw away the base unless they are spotless, and these are not in the regular grocery stores around here anyways. So they are organic, and the compost, it's not, you know, it's the compost itself when they're making them is actually, it's very sterile. It's full of organic, but there's no diseases and stuff like that in it. And mushrooms are actually grown under cover. You can pick like the white mushrooms. We used to pick them as kids and put them on pizza. So when we were making them, we'd go out and we'd pick them in the cow pasture behind our house, and they were really nice mushrooms, pearl white, sometimes as big as this. So just beautiful, beautiful mushrooms. Not going to find those in the stores though. As I said, the mushrooms will add moisture to it. So I want the flavor of the mushroom, but I need to cut them thin so that they don't add too much moisture, because a mushroom is full of moisture. If you leave your mushrooms in the fridge for a while, they'll shrink as some of the moisture comes out of them. And you can see that inside these mushrooms, the white in the crown is still pretty nice. So yeah, they're not too old. When they get really old, they're not very nice mushrooms. Anyways, I basically have one mushroom per pizza. This is my plan. Depends on how thin I manage to cut them, because as I said, I want to cut them thin. And the only other topping that Roz likes on her pizza really is cheese. But I do like more toppings than she does, because I am one of those people that think pizza should always have pineapple. I don't know a time when I wouldn't want pineapple, except the lamb pizza. I haven't done it on that. Maybe I have to try that next time. Put some pineapple on it just to see how it tastes, because as Roz keeps reminding me, I have a sweet tooth and I like everything sweet, even if I don't want actual sugar and everything. And the oven's on and it's warmed up, so I'll be able to put the first batch in. The oven, I heat it to 400 degrees. If I was using a convection oven, I would go to 375, but because of these don't fit so well on the pan, I'm actually going to heat them in my main oven, and that'll be at 400. Convection's so much nicer the way it just cooks the top very thoroughly, and gets cheese all bubbling, and it looks really cool when it's as the convection fan has got the bubbles all bubbling on that. And yeah, that's it. I really like this Compliments cheese. It's from I buy it at Thrifty's, but it's Compliments. It's actually Sobeys brand. I like the way it's shredded. It's easy to get a really nice even cover, and that's what I want. When it's sliced more thickly than this, I find it doesn't do quite as nice and even a cover. So, and then I just spread it out by hand. This bag's getting a little old. And try and get as much as I can on the pizza, and it'll run down to the edges. Try and make an even coating. Oh, there's a big chunk. It's winter, so the cheese isn't as nice. It gets too much moisture in the winter in the fridge. It's not quite as nice as it would otherwise be. And I want the cheese so that when it melts, it's going to go out and cover everything. So I try and get it as close to the edge of the toppings as possible. And you can see it's fairly thick, the toppings on these. And I like pineapple, as I said. So I'm going to put some pineapple on one of the two pizzas that I just covered with cheese. This is chopped pineapple from Thrifty's, and they nicely core it and peel it, and so I just spread it out on the pizza on the top. I think that pineapple basically baked like this in the oven is really nice. I like pineapple in all its different forms and stuff like that. So it'll be easy to tell which one will be mine. Mine will be the one with the pineapple, but that's the ready to go in the oven. The oven's been preheated to 400 degrees. Apparently we're the only country in the world that's smart enough to know that you can eat pineapple on any pizza. And I really like pizza with pineapple. It's in the oven. I'm going to watch it, but once I start to see the edge of the crust brown up a little bit and all the topping looks mixed, I'll pull it out then. I'll let it cool a little bit, and then we'll eat it. And we're going to take it into our little movie theater, and we're going to watch the movie Belfast, which is semi-autobiographical with story of Kenneth Branagh growing up in, I'm guessing in Belfast, and just at the start of the times of the Trouble. It's supposed to be a comedy drama, so figure that it'll be a good one. There's definitely Oscar buzz and stuff like that about the movie. Kenneth Branagh, of course, has had many times been up for Oscars for his various works as a actor, producer, writer, director, everything. So he's quite a name in Hollywood, and as a British coming from the UK. And that's about it. So once the pizza's ready, I'll finish off the other 4 pizzas. We're gonna have lots of leftover pizza, because leftover pizza is fabulous for lunch. And we're gonna mix a few drinks and watch when the pizza's ready. The first batch will actually, that'll be leftovers. The first batch and I can only get 4 pizzas in the oven at a time. So I'm going to, once that one's ready, I'll put 2 more in that same pan, plus the other 2 in the big pan that I started. And we'll put them all together, and when they're ready, we'll take them out and they'll be still warm. And that'll be our pizza in our wonderful movie theater with my beautiful love, Rosalind Humphreys. See you later.